All right, this is Ed Wood Guerrilla Style. We don't know when the time's going to run out or the police are going to bust in for our illegal filming of an art studio. No, I'm just kidding. This is the Sculpture Resource Center. This is Jesse Berlin, one of my favorite artists that I've seen his work here. And he's going to talk about actually kind of showing how does he do some of his sculptures. I mean, of course, he's mixed media, but here you can see inside this kind of pink-looking cake-like creature that's clearly a panther or a cat. He's got the creature sculpted in clay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and expound.
So this piece, I made the original model in clay, and you can't really see that anymore because it's buried under about a ½ an inch thick of silicone, and that's effectively a flexible mold material that I'll then go pour plastic into. I'll remove this whole thing from the cat. I got a sample one I can show you. Where's my, oh, here, this is good, because we can look at this piece too. So here's what happens when you take the piece of artwork, the original sculpt out of this, and then you can pour plastic into this cavity, and then I can take the parts apart and peel the silicone off of it, and I've got a solid plastic object.
Do you have that, an example of that particular piece?
I do, if you can walk this way and quickly swing over.
We're walking. We're going to look at some of these pieces later if we have time. I have to show this one while we're walking. Do not touch the nipples, folks. It is very important because it would rub them. But, yes, people love to touch the nipples of that piece.
So this is what came out of the mold I just showed you. This is a portrait of a...
So that's not even, it kind of looks bronze, but it's not.
Yeah, that's intentional. I make a lot of things look like bronze without having to work with the weight and the cost of bronze.
And what do we call him?
This is a portrait of a noted actor, and I'll just read the title. Portrait of celebrated actor and incestuous child rapist Klaus Kinski.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yeah, he is an ugly, scary man, but he was great as Nosferatu.
He was pure brilliant. He was Werner Herzog's personal muse, and it just goes to show you, like, you can be a brilliant artist and still be a horribly deplorable, fickle human being.
Well, look at Woody Allen right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you could definitely draw a lot of parallels.
You know what? I don't know if you can read that, folks, but this is, one of the examples of he puts up some good lettering to describe the piece. But I think it's great. I thought it was bronze when I saw it the other night. But
yeah.
Awesome. We talked about Klaus Kinski. That's so funny.
Right. So when the cat...
Natasha Kinski's dad.
Yeah. Now, luckily, she managed to fight him off, but her older sister, Paula, was systematically sexually abused by him from the time she was 9 till the time she was 19.
Well, that explains a little bit about Tess. Why at 14 years old is she doing such a provocative role? Because her mind is fucked by a bad daddy. But it was a good movie, and Hollywood liked it before they knew the truth about the father. And now this is not you.
No, that's Josh Woodhall.
But we're going to mention Josh Woodhall. Kudos, Josh. Is that the Joshua I met?
Yeah.
Who does the faces?
He does all these paintings.
You know what? Let's just do a quick Josh thing. We're going to run out of time, and this is about Jesse today. But him and Josh, that's...
If you like, if he's around...
That's you.
No, that's Moises.
Oh, and I met Moises as well. Beautiful Ganesh-like piece here.
Yeah.
Which is...
This is still in progress.
In progress.
I'm still working on it.
Okay. But back to Joshua.
I could probably get him to come along if you want.
Joshua?
Yeah, he's in the studio when I...
We should have him come along since we're throwing him in here. Here's, it's obviously about distortions, maybe surreal, maybe impressionistic uses of the face. But very, very nicely done. He's got a certain style, and he does it well. That's good enough for Josh for now. We hope he'll join us. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, it is a nice one.
And let's get back to Jesse Berlin. No?
No, that's Dawn.
Let's see if I'm smart enough to figure out his work. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See, I like this guy's work. It is a bit dark, folks, and it's got a bit of a taxidermy/serial killer aspect, in my opinion, but trust me, this is a good artist, and as you heard, if you watched the other video here, you would have seen the explanation of the
facomelic child with prosthetic limb apparatus.
And it's dark and yet beautiful story, honestly. So tell us about this piece.
So this is kind of a similar thing as what I'm going to end up doing with the cat.
I'm sorry, Josh was working the background once again. So now you have to be on the show, Josh, because you hogged some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially what I was dealing with this piece was this sort of dichotomy between like the idealized notion of life and physical being versus the reality. So I took like a very classical style, like majestic wildlife bronze sculpture.
Right in the front here, of course, we see that.
And then I took a transverse cross section of it and moved around to the back. It looked like
darkness,
living,
folks.
Yeah, wet living tissue, because a lot of my work's about mortality, and the fact is we're not these really idealistic beings. We're all these, things that are. Am I allowed to use profanity on this?
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Artfest show after midnight. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we're all eating, fucking, shitting animals. We're not these big spiritual, wonderful things. We're just meat, and that's more or less what this piece is about. Is the reality of the meat versus the ideal.
I like it even more now. And the name?
Untitled Deer Study. Like I said, I have very clinical titles for my work.
Which adds to the whole serial killer aspect. But no worries, this is not a violent person. He gets his...
No, I'm a pacifist.
I'm a pacifist anarchist myself, as you can tell by allowing allowing that motherfucker to pop me for free. That's a pacifist, man. Because trust me, I got a reach. I could do some damage. But that's another story.
Indeed.
But seriously, as you can see, he's got a lot of energy and passion about what his work is trying to say. Obviously, anyone that sees this, it's going to speak to them somehow.
Yeah.
And the horror aspect pulls the eye in.
And we like visitors here, too, so if anybody wants to come see this in person...
Where's that sign? Let's do that. Sculpture Resource Center sign was...
right out front.
Folks, a lot of other people's works, we're not going to go into it. Oh, I'm sorry. One more for Josh. Look at this beauty. Another one of my new favorites that I forgot about. Okay.
Is it lit up right now?
I saw a big, right here. This is
yeah, there you go.
This is right before we get into the little gallery, as it were, but it's also a workspace for these folks.
Yeah.
Sculpture Resource Center. And what exactly is, we're on approximately
It's 640 North Stone, which is basically Stone and 6th. It's between 6th and 4th on Stone.
Now, it's interestingly right near where DPC used to be, but it is not directly connected with Steve and I.
Right.
But he supports this place a little bit.
I think Matt Bevel Institute is where the DPC used to be, which is right up the street from here.
But I think Steve and I does support this place because he mentioned it to me.
Oh, yeah.
once.
Steve, man, he's still a big force in the Tucson art scene, not just through solar culture, but through his support of the arts in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've known that guy since I was like 12 years old at the DPC.
Yeah.
He's always been behind the scenes in one way or the other.
And any of us that are been here for more than 20 years remembers the DPC. Beautiful place. We have not yet reached its heavenly. What do we? Yeah.
Yeah, but we're
It's
on our way up.
Oh man, and you know what? It's funny he says this because we say this a lot on the Artfest show. But if you notice, folks, it's not just me. It's not just people I have on my show. If you listen around Tucson and talk to artists and musicians, you're going to hear that there's various collectives, vortexes of music and art that are popping up and collaborating together and strengthening. Tucson is on the verge of the Austin of Arizona in a real way.
Absolutely.
Well, we're still got time. Like, let's. Is there any more pieces we should really hit? You didn't do that, did you, by chance?
Well, no.
Okay.
No.
No.
You can check out the bronze over there.
Oh, this one. We didn't get her enough.
Yeah, let me jump over
Let's
there.
do her. Now, this is an interesting. I had a friend who just did not understand the rules of a sculpture gallery.
That's the monkey I had to kick off this thing?
Yes. And he's young and he's impetus. What do they call it?
I think he was just horny, is what it
Well, he really liked.
He was trying to mount it from behind. So.
You can see the Robert Crumb-esque aspect potentially, although Robert Crumb would never have had a woman with these, muscular small tits and very muscular, but yet not thick enough for him.
She's pretty anemic for a Crumb.
Well, I don't think she's anemic because I'm like
for a Crumb girl, no.
Well, but definitely not a Crumb woman. Yeah. And then you've got sort of, I thought in my mind, a werewolf. But this isn't about me. Why don't you tell us about this piece?
Well, this piece is called Drone Series Number 1. It's the first in a proposed series. I haven't made any of the other pieces yet, but this is dealing with this sort of fictional narrative of a society that is genetically engineering consumer citizens in a sense. These are people that you can use as sexual surrogates, draft animals, a source of food. You can, ride on its back like a bicycle. And the idea is it doesn't have a head. It's not really fully human, so it's like you can completely objectify and exploit this person
Oh my God.
guilt-free. unless you have issues with, exploiting animals, then you might not want to. But even then, it still doesn't have a brain in any real sense.
So the ugly side of biotechnology and DNA research and cloning.
Yeah, but it's almost more just a metaphor for the way that human beings actually already treat each other.
Oh man. Now the crumb
right,
aspect.
Right. We do this to people already without having to genetically engineer them. We enslave, we rape, we exploit, we reduce people to economic slavery.
The sad thing is the deer hooves give her that extra level of sleek elegance to where you feel pity that she's being used in my opinion.
But she needed the hoof, because if she's going to pull a plow through a field, she needed like hooves.
Well, in my opinion, one of the best things, if you look at those hooves, in the wrong situation, this creature, though it does not have a head or brain, could certainly do some damage if someone mistreated it.
Yeah, it could gut you if it needed to.
But this was the part that was being enjoyed by many. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Folks, this is pretty lifelike.
Anatomically correct.
Oh boy, I'm sure you can't see this because of the light. Well, now you can.
Yeah.
And this is why we're on after midnight.
Yeah.
That is, this part of your work is extremely vaginal and made pro woman.
Well, I've seen a few up close. So.
The beautiful thing, though, me myself, I'm a big fan of the vagina from the back. But that's another story. Here we go with again the name of the piece.
Drone Series #1.
And this was the one that first pulled me in, to be honest, folks. But Jesse Berlin's work is everything from this sort of sleek, beautiful, wow, you heard what he said, to even more, well, just as dark in a different way. We're going to go back to her. If you want to take us out with her doing her thing again, and that way we got two shots, we can use either one. And someday we can edit and do a music video together. Yay!
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we'll show the puppeteer and artist. Everything here, homemade, handcrafted, except for one small brass piece.
No, I made